When Abraham took that ball, oh, gee, obviously James got unsighted by the sun. Grant got rid of him with a little shove. Makepeace back to Abraham, gone. Good tackle from Francis. Grant in with a handball, gets it across to Motlop. Good kick, he controlled that beautifully under pressure and finds Clayton. And then Clayton goes to full forward. Carey's going to be the target, mid front spot. Carey had a bit of his jumper, no payment. Carey in the pocket, left foot, that's a clever kick. I think it's a goal. The King has scored from the pocket. Yeah, well, compare that to Burgoyne at the other end. I think the degree of difficulty was slightly more, don't you?
Well, that's why he's the king, Plugger.
Well, amazing, isn't it? Just a daft little left footer here, as you can see on the replay. Gathers it up and just throws it on, and have a look at this. Shane Warne would have been happy with the movement in that, wouldn't he?
And it showed you the difference, Bruce. You called Burgoyne kicked his too hard, whereas Carey just really finessed that and didn't over-kick the football.
Well, the Kangaroos needed it, didn't they? That might spark them a bit, but Port 2-2 to 1-3 was favouring the end that the Kangaroos went to in the opening term, so Port have got it, though. It's a tough, swirly day, no question about that. Kingsley's high ball, Pickett with a lot of courage, but he didn't hold the mark in the end. He'll be disappointed. He did the hard work. Martin's kick wide. Abraham, who was one player for the Kangaroos, who was pretty busy in that opening term, out wide and out of play. It might be one of those days. Sometimes it happens, doesn't it?
Sometimes it does happen, Bruce, and North Melbourne have really just got to get back to the basics now. They know how to play the game. They're as good as anyone in the competition, I believe, and let's hope that they can get their game on song pretty soon.
Lyle, Carr over the top of it, gets it out, hands and knees the big spider. Well, a lucky free kick, I think, to be honest, to Harvey. Over the shoulder.
They've gone back with that big forward line too, the Kangaroos. Colbert at full forward and Carey and McKern across the half forward line.
Poor kick by Harvey, but the wind is difficult, so it's probably a bit easy up here to criticise. And Montgomery's been good today. He said in the Adelaide press during the week that it was up to these players, this group, to make something of their careers, because the next group would come after them and they'd miss out. He was a late starter himself with the Bulldogs. Bangs inside 50. Burton was at the back. McCartney. It's just like the Kangaroos have got no rhythm at the moment, isn't it? And maybe, we're just underestimating Port's effort so far. There is nobody forward of about 60 metres in the Kangaroos forward line at the moment.
Well, Steve Paxman, the Port Power full back, has actually taken Colbert all the way down, and he's just off that pack of players at the bounce down there, and he's certainly making it hard for Lee Colbert.
Pike, Harvey, good tackle on him. Then Blakey gets it away. Francis off one step to about 30 metres. Treadray and Martin. Martin works at the front. Treadray's handball good. James couldn't quite get it in. And then Pike's quick kick. Blakey's hands not bad. He held up a tough one, then got it back. And again, good pressure. And that is bounced on the line. Well done, John Blakey.
Very close, wasn't it?
Oh, it sure was, Plugger, I tell you.
And that was nearly another goal to Port Adelaide there.
Yeah, great strength
Just
from Warren
Roger
Treadray.
James just fumbled it there at a real important stage. He would have run into an open goal then.
Well, there was no one forward of the centre wing for the Kangaroos. So a very congested area here, and Port have got it right where they wanted at the moment. And then Pike a bit up and under. He had to keep it in. It's at 50, and Primus has taken the mark.
He's been outstanding too. He's had 7 possessions, Primus, and he's really shown he's come to play as well.
Good kick. Right there, Treadray's got it. No, Martin back with him. Treadray will be disappointed. He had a lot of that, didn't he?
He did have a lot of it, and I think Primus is carrying about 4 kilos lighter than we seen him a few weeks ago. Ruzzi's got rid of that big knee brace.
Yeah, well, certainly all the better for it because he's been outstanding.
Burton and Primus. Ball just goes to ground. Archer to Burton, a bit of a fumble. Calthorpe's on the ground. Handball's missed its target. Makepeace was very good in that situation. And then Pike sat and then kicked it out hard. King underneath it. Montgomery with him. Good contest, that one, and King did really well to get out of it. Left foot to centre wing. This is where these one-on-ones today are so important. Motlop and Francis. Had Motlop been able to win it, they were away, weren't they?
And there's plenty of space too. If Motlop had have got that ball, he probably would have had 3 or 4 bounces because there was no one in between him and about the 50-metre line.
Wilson decides to thump, and then there's a free kick for shepherding, and that's against Port. And McCartney's got it. At centre wing, he's kicked to McKernan's a good one, and McKernan's taken a nice mark between centre wing and half forward.
He's really got to step up, Corey McKernan. I know it's easy to be critical, but he's just never been able to recapture that form of, I think it was 96 when he actually won the Brownlow or equal, but he just hasn't really stepped up since that time.
Colbert got it from Burton and then gets it back to Bell. This is his first kick today to fall forward. Carey launches himself. Mead, Calthorpe, quick kick, close. I think he's got it. It's a goal to Calthorpe. Well, Port's had it forward for probably 4 minutes, Port Adelaide, and the Kangaroos have gone forward once and they kicked the goal.
Yeah, look, and it was bad play there from the Port power player playing on Calthorpe. I couldn't pick him up. Let's see if we can pick him up. Just watch, he goes to the back of the pack here. Calthorpe goes to the front, and he basically stands and spectates. So, Roger James, yeah, just bad play. Really needs to either go with that flyer or certainly pick him up as the ball hits the ground. But a great opportunist goal from Calthorpe.
His Primus, without the big brace, certainly has been good, but that's a blow to Port because they've had a lot of the ball in the second quarter for nothing, and Calthorpe kicking an opportunist goal.
Shannon Grant just coming back onto the ground too. He hasn't seen much of it so far. He's only had one kick and one handball, so he'd be pretty keen to get amongst it.
Lee Colbert off for Grant.
So again, a taller player for the shorter Grant. He's played some great games here, Shannon Grant, over the years. Josh Carr out of the centre. Well, here's a space here to run into. Pike running the gauntlet a bit, then takes off. He's got a lot of pace. Left foot, found his mark. Blakey playing in front. Good grab.
Johnny Blakey's probably been the Kangaroos' best player so far. That's his 9th possession already.
And Burton really should have taken that mark. And then Bishop away, had nowhere really to kick. Now Treadray's going to be one man out here. There'll be Kangaroos all around him. He's got to try and find a way here to keep it there. Archer attacked it hard, and it gets to the line, a boundary throw in. There's Lee Colbert. 3rd game only this year. Got goals against Geelong. Bit of irony in the fact that his first game for the Kangaroos was against the Cats in that big Friday night game at Colonial. Played last week, back today. McCartney and Primus, Harvey, and also Franco, and a boundary throw-in.
And it's not going to be an easy day for forwards from both teams. It looked like Port have made a conscious decision to have a loose man down back at every opportunity. It's either Darren Mead, Bishop or Paxman, which will mean that the Kangaroos will also have a loose player down their end as well.
Simpson got it out well to Motlop, to McCartney, forced a kick in a hurry. It got through Francis, and then Lyle and Burton, and Bishop's behind them. Lyle coming out, ball up. Francis unlucky. He just had to stop it with his hands before it got over the top. You'd expect it to be quite low scoring, wouldn't you?
It certainly looks at this stage. They're really, both teams are struggling to get any sort of flow into their forward line.
Primus just read it a bit better than Burton that time. Simpson got down low in the tackle. Lyle's little handball. Franco gets a second crack at it and then gets away, but it's a poor effort by Franco in the end. Gives it to Motlop, who gives it to Harvey, who bangs the centre half forward. Front spot make piece, well done at the back by James. Paxman to James, they're away here, Port. Well, it's a poor kick, and Port's going to have to work really hard. Takes McCartney on, McCartney well done, and then kicks the ball out wide. Chance here for King, he can be very dangerous, he's in trouble. He rode it all right, Stevens couldn't hold him up. Bangs to McKernan, just a bit far, that floating windy ball. Bassett, last man standing, can't be worried out of it. Harvey's in the pocket, a free kick anyway, but he's kicked he's going to get a free kick. Is he? Or the advantage given? I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, he did blow the whistle, but I think he gave advantage. Now, that's a case of, I mean, where's the advantage there? Should the umpire have then pulled him back and given him a shot for goal?
So it's a point to Harvey. That missed kick into the centre for Port was absolutely
so important, wasn't it? Yeah, they were away.
So James gets it back to Francis. Mead made a bit of a contest, but no one at the back. McCartney sweeping pretty well at the moment and kicks back to McKernan in the heart of the centre square. He's going to go short and wide. That's a very poor option. Francis just picks it off and then kicks to Corn's front spot. Good grab.
And that's nearly 50.
And it is actually a plugger. Gee, I tell you what, Dennis Pagan will be right for one, the McKernan short kick. Maybe not so much for Archer's 50, but
that's a bit of a tough one for a defender. Well, even Archer didn't even go back and stand on the mark, so he's probably going to be...
Chances are, I think Glenn will be coming off for a minute or two, I'd say, Roosie.
Yeah, look, the 50 was a little bit unlucky. As a defender, let's just watch him here.
It's definitely 50. That's he'd taken a mark wholly and solely there.
You forwards have got it easy enough as it is, Plugger, without getting
Back me
those
up
easy.
here, Bruce. 50 metres.
I've got to say I'm with you, Plugger. I'm with you. I live 4 doors from Chad's father.
I think Dennis would be more disappointed the fact that Archer didn't go back and stand on the mark.
Exactly right, yes. And as we just see now, coming over a bit of a cool down, Glenn, for a couple of minutes.
He's had a funny old season, Archer. He hasn't been really able to get going, has he, Glenn Archer? What a great player he's been.
Yeah, he's a terrific player, and he'll bounce back from that, but he does just have, I think it's just that his temper gets the better of him sometimes, and he's just his emotions, and you can't blame him for that. Football is an emotional game.
Tell you what, it was a terrific mark by Corns anyway, and he's kicked 2. Blakey's kicked a half forward. James has read it probably best. And Mead getting out there. This ball, as I said, is going to run away. Ground's very hard today, and with the wind, it's going to be a bouncing game.
It really is a ground that when the wind is up, it really does swirl, doesn't it? And just from past experiences here, when the wind is up like this, you've just got to have your crummers ready for anything.
McKernan and Bishop. McKernan lays it down to Motlop. Can't quite get a clear crack. Gets the kick into centre half forward to Carey. Building forward was King. Colbert's handball. James has got it. Porter playing very well at the moment. The kick to centre wing. Over the back. Bishop. Rather Primus, I should say. He's moving very well, the big fella. And McCartney, I think, again, pretty happy to see it run out.
Once again, some great tackling from the Port Power defenders as well there. So they're continuing the momentum they took into the first quarter.
So Makepeace off and Capuano back on. So again, a lot of changes for the Kangas. They're just trying to get that right mix. Franco to Poulton to Corns, and again a good mark.
He's got good strong hands, hasn't he?
What about the kick though, Plugger?
It was a beautiful
day. The left foot just
low and hard, and won't this be an inspirational goal if he can go back and slot this one?
Just how
tough kick though. Oh, it's a tough kick. You just don't know what the wind's going to be doing here.
Well, he must be confident. He kicked that check side goal in the opening term. His hands have been terrific. That's a dreadful looking kick off the boot. Gee. That was awful, wasn't it?
It's when you're actually playing in the windy conditions too, Plugger. By the time you drop the football, sometimes it actually gets blown off the course, doesn't it? It can hit your foot on a pretty ugly sort of angle.
You've really got to try and kick it out of your hand almost. But he rushed it a bit too, didn't he? He really didn't have a good think about it and just sort of wait for the wind to maybe just die down for a minute.
Pickett's kicked to half back. Plenty of flyers. Martin. And belts the ball to centre wing. Motlop and Francis. Burgoyne there. Still Burgoyne. He should be all right. He's taking a long time. Oh, that's a disappointing effort. And Carey's got hold of it now in the pocket and goes across to centre half forward. But James, who since Calthorpe kicked the goal on him, has been very good. Montgomery's been good all day. Over the top to Burgoyne, who gets a second crack after overrunning the ball early. That's a beautiful kick to Stevens. Poulton is on. This is a very good build-up by the Power. Poulton's made a mistake. Gets around, though. Calthorpe went a bit too hard at him, perhaps. Tread raised the target. He works Martin underneath it. Franco to Carr. Should have a shot. He should have straightened himself up. He was dodging his own players in the end. Kicks it back and McCartney marks.
He just had nothing kick. He also had a Port Power teammate running in the half-forward flank. Could have either chipped it or kicked it longer and straighter for goal, but really a nothing kick there.
Gee, they moved the ball well from defence too. It was just a wasted opportunity, wasn't it?
Martin in the back pocket. Bishop, well done.
Well, that's a terrible
McKernan, Mead, Motlop. Mead was good, but Motlop was terrific, and he's going to kick a goal. Well, they're pretty lucky, the Kangaroos. I mean, Bishop, boy, he was stiff, wasn't he?
That's very stiff. Like, just... Oh, I don't really know what to say there, Roosie, because that's, you know, it's just so... That'd just shatter you, wouldn't it? I mean, it was...
Here it is here in replay, Plugger.
Look, he hasn't even touched him with his hands.
That's just
a great mark.
Yeah, that's a clear-cut mark.
Within 15 seconds, Kangaroos turn around and kick a goal. I hope that when the video is done during the week of the umpires' videos, let's hope he has a good, solid look at that one.
So they were stiff there, Port. Motlop kicking an opportunist goal. They didn't do a lot wrong, did they? I mean, Bishop's taken a good mark and been penalised, and then Meads belted away, and it's lobbed in Motlop's hands.
Yeah, it was great roving, I guess. Take nothing away from Motlop. It was terrific roving, running at top pace, and also it was a good finish from about 50 metres out.
Primus. It's heavy traffic in there today, isn't it? Abraham gets it out to Pickett, who floats to half forward. That looked a push out that time, not paid. Mead, oh, well done, Bill. Gee, he read that well. Can't get the handball away. Was shoved in the back, no free kick. And then, is it Motlop again going for goal? And he's missed.
Just looked to maybe be getting into a little bit of gear now. That little bit of luck we mentioned with the free kick to Bishop. Goal, and certainly the Kangaroos have lifted a little bit in the last couple of minutes. And is that Jared Polton going off there?
Bassett on for him. No doubt the Kangaroos have got on top in the last few minutes, Ruzi. Francis. Now, Bassett's just come onto the ground. Blakey, well done by Bassett, was good mark. Stevens running for him, but the kick is to Primus. Now, Stevens is on here with the right handball. The handball in front of him, he's got to work it. Running him down, Pickett. Great kick, Stevens, coming back. Hit the post, I think.
It was actually well done by Treadray too. We had a great angle on that too. I thought it was going to turn back in for a goal, and Treadray made a nice little jump and just a subtle little push in Mickey Martin's back. Maybe he could have actually marked the ball, but I thought he made the right decision, and just unfortunately for the Power boys, it hit the post.
Pickett, long kick out, Treadray, Stevens, he heard the voice, but he missed the target. Simpson's handball to Cowthorpe, danger, good tackle on Harvey, but silly play by Carr, absolutely ridiculous. He had Harvey scun and then threw him to the ground when the ball was away.
He was lucky he didn't get a 50-metre penalty either there. He gave him an extra nudge when the ball was away from the contest.
Harvey, good kick into the breeze, start centre wing. Bishop's read it best. Now, he's got Corns on his own. He's made him work a bit out wide and stretched him wide here. Corns, Abraham will be a danger. He gets it back to Lyle. Lyle can go back to Bishop. But again, there's some danger here. The Kangaroos may get out here. Franco under pressure, no free kick. Port have wasted a chance here by putting players into a 50-50 situation, and it'll be a ball up. 23-28.
Well, they're still having a red-hot go. Glenn Archer just cooling his heels on the boundary. Wonder what's going through Glenn's mind. He's obviously championed the bit to get back on the field, no question about that.
Gee, I think someone's got rid of a brace there. It's on the ground anyway. Abraham's little handball to himself was really clever, and then he finds some space, and the kick a bit off to the side, but getting it into the corridor. Carey tries to build on. Mead, oh, King robbed him brilliantly. He's at 50, little kick to Carey, and found his mark. Good play by King.
Yeah, well done by David King there. Really summed up the situation well. Probably could have blazed away and had a shot for goal, which would have been the wrong option. But saw out of the corner of his eye, just Wayne Carey just ducking away from that original contest from Mead, which he does so well, and lining up for what will be his first goal if he can kick it.
He kicked his first goal of the match for the Kangaroos. In fact, this will put the Kangaroos in front for the first time today.
Yeah, it's a lovely kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, a goal. So Carey has got two, and the Kangaroos with 3 second quarter goals are in front by a point.
They just seem to be getting their game plan a little bit together, the Kangaroos, and we know what that is, just kicking it long to a one-on-one contest with Carey and Mead. We've seen the last 2 goals resulting in that. The first one, Motlop crumbing a Carey. This time Carey getting involved in the early contest, then peeling out and taking a beautiful pass from David King. And that's a really good kick in these windy conditions for goal number 2 for Wayne Carey.
So not a lot of possession, but a couple of goals to Carey. It's a good return. Peter Bell again off the ground. Quiet day for him so far. Just the 2 posies. Well, Primus never got into it there, and Capuano kicks to half forward. Bishop belts it away. Clayton's in the right spot, and then goes high to the centre half forward spot, wanting a McKernan grab perhaps. At the foot of it was Grant. It's touch play on, belting it away. Bassett at the back. Taken by Schofield, who's on the ground. It's normally a good kick. Treadray front spot. Nobody at the back for Port. Getting back Clayton. It's just taking their time here. Corns had to hold him up in the tackle, and he couldn't do it. And the kick out wide releases Pike at half back. Gets to centre wing. And then delivers to centre half forward, wanting a high mark. Carey in the contest. Cowthorpe roving it pretty well, and then to the pocket. They've been front and square as they always are, the Kangaroos, in that situation, haven't they?
Yeah, there's that style of play again, Bruce. Just Carey going for the contest, 2 or 3 opponents against him, ball, punches, and the Kangaroos are so well schooled and so well disciplined. They have their running players always getting to the front of the pack.
Owen Lockwood getting ready to come on for Port Adelaide. McKernan. Francis in there. James's handball was good to Montgomery, to Lyle at halfback. Long kick to half-forward McCartney and Primus. Primus, well done. He is playing a very good game. He's in trouble now, but he got the little handball away to Wilson. Wilson at half-forward, hooks it back, doesn't have any legs on the kick, and Martin in front of Treadray. He's held Treadray up pretty well today, Mickey. He's got the mark. Short to Blakey. And as Rusi said, probably the best player for the Kangas when they were struggling early in this match. He's still just a point in front. Calthorpe's kick, but it's starting to happen for them, isn't it? King's got it. Carey wants it wide now, and King's going to kick it to him, and he slipped them, Carey, and he's got it. He slipped Mead there.
It was bad play by both Port Power players there. There was 2 players on Carey, Bishop and Mead. Bishop turned round to Mead, and I'm sure Bishop thought Mead was going to pick Carey up. Mead thought Bishop was going to pick Carey up, and in the end, no one did. So that's the danger when you do have 2 players against one. Sometimes they leave it to each other, and neither of them do the job.
Treadray off for Lockwood. Well, Carey was the damaging player in the final last year. He single-handedly put Port away, really, and he's kicked a 3rd goal. Beautiful kick. Well, he's asserted himself, hasn't he, in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, look, he's only had 5 kicks, Bruce, but he's kicked 3 goals and 3 very damaging goals. He is a great player that you just cannot afford to give an inch to.
And if you're going to double up on a player like Wayne Carey, Plugger, you've got to have one player in front and one behind, and both, in that case, the Port Power boys both got caught behind Carey and left it up to each other, and no one went with him.
We start the second half here of the SCG. Can Port stay with the Kangaroos and, in fact, go in front of them in the second half as they were for much of the first? Rawlings belts to centre half forward. Culver belted out of it. McKernan, good tap out to Simpson on his wrong side. Wobbly old kick. The bounce all important here, as it has been for much of the day. And that handball coming out wide and missing its target, coming from Wilson.
You just worry that the skill deficiencies of Port are going to play a very big factor in this game. A couple of times they've broken off half-back, and just the skill error has made a big difference.
Montgomery's sitting it out, which is interesting. He was a good player in the first half. Capuano at the back, to the quiet day. Franco high tackle, and he's won it in the end. Just got down low.
You wonder whether Montgomery might be injured, because I thought he was definitely in their best players, and certainly one of the best players on the field. He had 13 possessions in the first quarter, and it was pretty damaging.
Franco, halfback, kicks to centre wing. Primus was his target, but good mark in the front. Well, there is Montgomery, so I've got that wrong. Sorry about that, Ruzi. I've given you a...
Thanks for that. You give me a bump.
Back to Montgomery, and as you say, he's not injured and he's playing well. And the kick to Corns. Well, what's he going to do, Plugger? Steps back. I hope there's a goal.
Well, let's hope so, Bruce. I think
he's got it. He's kicked 3. Well, Port have had a better start than me right up here, but I'm going to take 2. But Corns has kicked 3. Tell you what, he's played a very good game, hasn't he?
He has been good. He's missed a couple of shots at, well, certainly one that we thought he should have kicked late in the second quarter, and there was one that was from a very difficult angle down in a pocket. But he's shown some great form. He's been terrific. His hands have been terrific today. And look, that's a great start for Port Power. And they moved to 5 points in front early on here into the third quarter.
Yeah, Glenn Archer's on Corns. John Blakey's actually moved away from that area, so they might have to move Blakey back there.
6'5", 5'6". Kingsley. This is where Port have been good. They've been able to match the intensity, or maybe lack of intensity, in away from the Kangaroos in the heart of that centre square. Schofield, good dummy, then belts it up high to centre half forward. Lockwood's got it. He was the only man really going for it, and Port have started really well here.
He was the only fella going for it, Plugger, wasn't he? Just eyes for the footy. And sometimes in the windy conditions, obviously, if you're going to tack it hard, it can pay off.
Yeah, well, once again, another good strong mark, and certainly within kicking distance here. Only got the wind to contend with here, really, and usually a pretty good kick for goal.
Hasn't played much footy, this young man, in the last 2 seasons, but he can really turn it on. It's only his 2nd game for the year. Not bad. They like it. He's got it. He's kicked 2. Corns has kicked 3. So their two youngsters, the 20 and 21-year-olds, have got 5 between them. And if only Treadray could have some impact when he gets a chance, well, Port would be a real hope. This is a very, very good start. This is just the start they needed.
You go, Rudy.
Just eyes on the ball there was just great stuff. Jared Schofield, who's a pretty damaging player, but really eyes on the ball was the key. He was the only one really going for the football.
And I reckon it's time, not that it's desperate stakes or anything, certainly by any means at the moment, but I reckon a move of Carey into the defence, just to see if they can give the defence a bit of guidance, and just to see if he can set some play up from down back.
King got it from Schofield and kicks to half forward. Good contest there with McKernan, Abraham. Port's tackling has been really impressive today. Bassett to Francis to Schofield. Well done, Pike. The ball just took a long time to get to him, the Port player there, and Pike was able to pick it off. Francis's handball wanting the line. To the other area, Plugger, where Carey's been very good, is in the midfield at times in a situation like this.
I just think they're just lacking a bit of spark around the midfield, and they just need someone there to sort of take hold of this game and just give him a bit of direction. And I reckon he's the man. I know he's kicked 3 out of their 5 goals, but I'm sure he could be just as effective down the back half.
Stevens' kick and Lockwood's marker. Their marking power has been a real problem for the defence, hasn't it?
Well, Bowen, he burst onto the scene, didn't he, as a youngster, and then been a bit in the wilderness, but he certainly showed in his early days that he can be a very crucial player. That's a terrific mark.
He's had chronic back hamstring type problems. Kicks to centre half forward. Well, a mistake there where Pickett and also Martin, it gets out to Harvey, who's played defensively for much of the day. Good mark taken by Abraham. You'd reckon the Kangaroos would be sparked now after Port's 2 early goals. Capuano's the target. Bishop held his ground. Calthorpe's fishing for it. The handball to Blakey. There'll be a goal here. It'll be Carey. They're going to swap him now. Terrific tackle at the back coming from Port Adelaide. And Paxman it was. And they've forced it through.
Well, that just sums up their day so far, but I guess for both sides. Fantastic play. Well done by the Port Power boys. They just really slid the defence there. Paxman coming across at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Right decision from Johnny Blakey to go over the top to Wayne Carey, but well done by the Port Power defence.
Colbert off. The good thing that Paxman did there too is that he bodied Carey to put him off, didn't he? Didn't just put a tackle. Carey might have been strong enough to go through with a kick. Boundary throwing.
And the other thing was too, Bruce, he didn't give a free kick away. It's easy in that position just to run straight into the player's back, and it was a very good tackle.
So Port by 10 points here. Miss there, and Abraham cleverly onto the boot. Has he kicked a goal? He might have just missed. It's a behind. It's looked dangerous, Abraham. He hasn't had a whole lot of it.
There's just that little skill error that I was talking about before from Port Power. They're certainly 1,000,000 miles an hour. They're really giving it their all, but you just worry that little handball that came straight out and it went straight to a Kangaroos player.
Oh, and you're talking about it, and Josh Carr has missed a mark and Bell's kicked a goal. Well, I think, Plugger, you talked about it a few minutes ago, and now Ruzi's talked about it. That is just typical of what you're saying. Just a bad mistake and a goal.
Yeah, look, the kick-outs from fullback, you can't blame the favourite. Right decision, kicks it, but just at the last moment, I don't know whether he took his eyes off the football. And Bell, who's been particularly quiet, that's only his 3rd possession, and that's really a gift goal from that position, and really gets the Kangaroos right back in the game.
So the Kangaroos within 3 points again, 6-8-7-5. Capuano and Primus. Franco, they've won the centre squares, Ports. Franco's kick not going far. Back to Francis and then wide to Montgomery. He's going to have to sit under it. He's a good mark, Montgomery, and he takes a beauty actually against Pickett, who's a hard man to beat in that situation. Releases Lyle at about 60 metres to full forward. Treadray is out there. Corns has been a better option off the ground, I think, by Schofield, and it's out on the full.
What Corns is doing that Treadray isn't is just leading. Treadray's getting caught behind Mickey Martin at every time the ball's coming down. He's really just got to lead more.
Ball was touched, and then there's a bouncing one, but McCartney able to get it. Motlop, one of the best on the ground in the first half. Well done, Mead, just to get a hand to it because it stopped it. And then Paxman wide. Francis, Abraham to come at him hard. Port have got the numbers, but Abraham's got a chance. Oh, he's done it well against Wilson and Francis. That's a terrific effort. Now to King, banging the full forward to the other King. Can Carey get involved? He gives a free kick away, I would have thought, to Paxman. Not paid. And then Mead's coughed it up to McKernan. Back to Carey at 50. Little kick, not far enough. Mead has a second crack. Carey's looking for a free kick. Back to Paxman. Forced to kick defensively and effectively and finds Lyle.
Yeah, good kick from Steve Paxman. Just summed up the situation beautifully there. Was under a lot of pressure but held on to the football and found Lyle.
Lyle probably having his best match for the season. And that's a free kick against Lockwood or against Primus perhaps to McCartney. Goes in short. Cowthorpe waits for it a bit. Then awkward looking kick to fall forward and Bassett's taken the mark.
Good strong mark.
He's looked okay, Bassett, hasn't he? He's only, as we said earlier, his only other game was round 14 last year where he sat on the interchange all day and didn't get a run.
He's had 10 possessions and taken 8 marks, so he's had a pretty strong game.
Lyle to Primus, who's had a very strong game. Franco was good. He was dropped it in the end, but he was under great pressure. Primus, no left side there for him. He came back, boundary throw in.
He just needed to take that ball out there. He really picked it up, Primus, and turned straight back into 3 Kangaroos players coming towards him. So the better option there is he's got his jumper ripped and would have been just to take it and go straight over the boundary line.
Gets back to take the throw in. Down to Simpson, to Lyle, gang tackle, drops it out. Archer, first time he's really imposed himself. Good kick to Carey, got him. Well, the square's vacant. Tough. What do you reckon, Plugger? You're the man. Is this a goal-kicking opportunity?
Oh, well, nothing's beyond this man, mate. That's why they call him the King, Bruce. But look, it's a tough kick, but certainly not impossible for him. But
where do you aim at, Tony, with a win like this?
Oh, I think he'd be aiming right at the right-hand goalpost. Doesn't seem to be going to be going too much sideways.
He's done just that, Plugger, and he's snuck it through for a goal. Well, I don't know if you read the greens as well as that when you play golf, but that was perfect.
That's why he kicked 1,357 goals, Bruce. I wouldn't have picked that. That's amazing, Plugger. Well done there.
It's a good kick too on the play.
Oh, well, I mean, as I said...
But Port should have had someone right on the goal line here.
Of course they should have, Bruce, and we've seen on numerous occasions, not just in this game, but in other games where there's been goals scored where, if there had been someone on the line, the ball could easily have been touched and a point would have resulted or a no score.
It's the bench, Clayton and Burton and Colbert just stretching and getting ready, Makepeace there as well. Carey, clever kick, read it perfectly, but Port really should have had a big man back there to that ball went through at about shoulder height in the end. So the Kangaroos are back in front. This is the danger period now, isn't it? The period where the Kangaroos might be able to impose themselves. Abraham gets it out to Simpson. Simpson running onto it to fall forward. Mead and Carey. Boundary throw here. No free kick to Mead. Didn't look a lot. Didn't look body on body, but he went to ground.
Yeah, it's funny. Darren Mead hasn't done a lot wrong, has he? He's played a pretty good game. Carey's kicked 4 goals. It just shows you what a dangerous player Wayne Carey is, and that's a terrible kick. Absolutely disgraceful kick, just as I'm giving him a rap down on Mead. He's made me eat my words. That is a terrible kick straight down the throat of Glenn Archer.
That's the second occasion in this quarter that that's happened. Not so much the first kick from the fullback was just a fault from the chap marking, and they scored a goal, and now we see Mead with an ordinary kick out from the fullback position, going to Archer, and he's made him pay.
To go, yes.
And that's the difference. It sort of separates the top teams from the bottom teams, doesn't it? The enthusiasm, the excitement, the passion is there certainly for Port Power, but all of a sudden they make 2 really bad blues. Fabian Francis to Josh Carr, who dropped the mark, and then all of a sudden Darren Mead kicks it straight to Glenn Archer, and it's 2 goals that they shouldn't have had, and it's put the Kangaroos in front. So just inexcusable play from Port Power.
It's good grab in the end from Archer too, wasn't it? And Archer in this quarter with that kick to Carey earlier, which resulted in a goal, and that mark there, there's a bit going on there, just trying to get the right matchups. But Glenn Archer's found a bit, hadn't he? Now, King was pushed into the centre square and he's going to get a free kick. So silly stuff by Port here. They are blowing this. It's 8-8 to 7-5. The Kangaroos will put 5 goals on them in a hurry if they're not careful. Got to forget all about that sort of silly business, and it'll be a ball up.
Yeah, look, that's silly. 2 goals and all of a sudden a free kick, which is inexcusable. I'm sure Mark Williams wouldn't be very happy at the moment sitting in the coach's box, because that's the sort of stuff, the undisciplined stuff that can really bring a team undone.
David King's really good at sucking you in too, isn't he? I mean, and he's done it pretty well there. Carey, again, standing tall in this match. It hasn't been of a high standard, but the conditions are difficult. It's been a scrappy affair, but it's been close. But the Kangaroos have got their big margin of the match so far. Franco towards the line, and a boundary throw in.
Carey going back to full forward too, just give him a bit more room. When he was playing at centre forward, even though he did kick the 3 goals, there wasn't a lot of room for him to work with. As we see now, he's really one out inside the 50, and that's a tough ask for Darren Mead.
He's very involved in the match too, just, you know, with the talk and everything. He's really leading hard here. King running out of space. Port continue to put pressure on, but a free kick, a high tackle. David King's got a couple of these. I think he's conned a couple of these Port players. To fall forward, a bit of a wrestle, a bounce, and Mead runs it over for a behind. Porter got to get it down the other end now.
Yeah, they just stopped getting numbers back in the defence, Port Power. In the first half, they got their midfielders back. They had a loose man in Bishop playing back there. Now it's really Carey and Mead one out, and I rate Darren Mead very highly as a player, but no one can contain Wayne Carey one out when there's so much space down there.
Paxman in short. It's close to the boundary line. Capuano, Bishop building it out, boundary throw in. It's been the defensive side throughout the day.
The ball has been on that side of the ground an enormous amount of the day. Obviously, that's where the wind's pushing the ball.
Saw Brent Guerrero there a moment ago. Big kick forward by Harvey, slung as he kicks Francis. Handball back to space was good. Lyle gets it back to James. He got it to Montgomery, who was a little slow to get his boot to ball. Quick tackle coming in. Abraham clever to Harvey. High kick to fall forward. Carey's at the back, and Bassett again. He's going to be a good player, I think. He stood his ground with a lot of courage and took a good mark to Burgoyne, who had a terrific first half. First time we've sighted him in this third quarter. A bit up and under, but the breeze has got hold of that. Kingsley to half forward. Corns attacks it pretty well. Goes to ground. Needs a handball to Schofield. Bell getting back. It was an interesting decision to handball there. Schofield gets it back. Treadray just out in front. Port needs somebody to attack hard here. Motlop was in. Treadray gets back. Carr bangs it to fall forward. A real wrestle here. The ball's bounced, but it does touch, and it's a behind. Gee, they had some chances, Port, didn't they?
Yeah, they seem to outnumber them in the forward line there, but at least they're down inside their 50. They were really struggling there for about 5 minutes, and the Kangaroos were dominating play, so the ball at least is in there forward 50-50, even though King's having the kick out now.
Kicks to the centre. Capuano's the target. Oh, Simp's a good fly in mark. Quickly plays on. This is where Carey's being so dangerous. Well done. And Paxman at the back. Archer having a bit of a third quarter burst. Bouncing ball here. James is going to have to run hard. This ball can get away. He's got it. Kept it in. Very short to Mead. Again, very short, and gets it out wide. Montgomery's got half back, and then on. His kick's got to be accurate, and Archer, who's really got a taste for it now, has marked in front of Kingsley.
Yeah, you wonder whether he got a bit of a rev up at half-time. Glenn Archer, he certainly lifted his game. He is a very important player for the Kangaroos.
I noticed all the players came around him when he kicked that goal, so I think they were feeling it a bit for him too. That's a bad kick. It must be difficult out there today. And Bassett again. Oh boy, this is dangerous. Have a look at this. Calthorpe building forward. Carey strolling in, keeps it low and misses. Do you reckon this is not the best game of footy we've seen this year, is it?
Well, he kicks the hard ones, mate, and then that was probably the one of the easiest ones he's had all day.
Just look how easy he takes this, though. Oh, Wayne Carey. Well, I guess he's due for one mistake, isn't he? He's been such a great player, but you look at disbelief on his face. But once again, a Port Power mistake, a bad kick from Paxman, nearly results in a Kangaroos goal.
Francis getting as far as he can, a bit up and under. McCartney and Primus. Bishop was the early fly, and Porter forced it almost to centre wing.
Talking about the big guns, Warren Treadray, what would you do with him, Plugger, at the moment? Would you throw him on the ball? Would you throw him loose man in the back line? He just hasn't been able to get into the game, and he's a really important player for them.
Yeah, I think they really need to do something with him. He's just not firing at all down there in the forward position. I'm not too sure about him playing in defence. Maybe run on the ball for 5 or 10 minutes, just see if you can get him into the game a little bit.
Clayton on for Motlop. Good mark to Carr at half-back. 7-6 to 8-10. Just kicks as hard as he can in the end, but the Kangaroos everywhere, and Bell takes the mark.
So the ball looks to be really holding up going to that end now.
So you think if Porter within 2 or 3/4 time, they'd have some chance here. It should be the scoring end. It hasn't worked out that way today. Rawlings' kick and Carey's just read it best.
That was terrible play by Steve Paxman. He had coverage in front of him. Brett Montgomery was the player that was in front of him, which obviously is his job to drop back in the hole. And instead of Paxman taking back position on Carey, which you have to do, he snuck in front of Carey. Watch it here. He sneaks in front of Carey, allowing Carey just to push him under the football. So that is really poor defensive play from Steve Paxman.
Carey's kick 4. And he's now kicked 5. Well, he's proving to be the difference in the match, isn't he?
Well, you just can't give a guy like Wayne Carey, you can't let him get his hands on your body. As I said here, Brett Montgomery makes great position in front of the pack, as we see here, and Steve Paxman had terrific position behind Wayne Carey, but for some reason Paxman wanted to go in front of Carey, allowing Carey to get his hands on him, just slightly push him underneath the ball, and let me tell you, that's bread and butter for Wayne Carey. As soon as he gets your hands on you, it's all over.
So this is this little jig around that's been going on. That's how King got his little push and free kick a moment ago. Comes across in front of Carr. So the Kangaroos have got it out now to 16 points. Port need the next goal. It's a low-scoring match. You just can't see Port kicking a huge total here, so they've got to keep the Kangaroos down. Oh, Francis's kick. Again, it's very dangerous. Mead has to sit and wait almost in the end. A tough handball for Bishop. Gets it wide. They might get out of it. Forced to kick in a hurry. Paxman to centre wing. Bouncing ball. Primus to Franco. Franco's got a bit of time and space here. Little kick okay, I thought, to Schofield, but Pickett belted it away. Coming off the interchange, Guerra works it forward. James to Stevens. Oh, Schofield, the umpire getting in his row a bit, but I don't know what Port were thinking there. Good tackle from the front there from Guerra. Back to Kingsley. Hooks it back. And Port have become very untidy over the last 15 minutes going forward.
Yeah, look, they certainly have. Once again, not a bad forward movement, but just a couple of handballs, as we see Braden Lye going on the bench. A couple of handballs missing the targets, and then Kingsley probably had a lot more time than what he thought there, and went for the round-the-body kick, when he really probably should have straightened up and just kicked the regulation drop punt.
7-7 to 9-10.
Bruce, it's pretty quiet all of a sudden down here on the boundary line. It's almost as if everyone's expecting the Kangaroos just to blow this wide open at any minute.
You get the feeling, but Porter at half forward with Montgomery. They just need a goal here, don't they? They're pressing forward. Got to stay close. Montgomery keeps it low. Corn's big fly. Martin at the back. Harvey was roving. As the breeze is strong, Nick, as it's been all day, it seems to be favouring the right end.
Yeah, it's still swirling around. I think it's actually getting stronger, but it's still swirling around. It's really hard to pick exactly which end it's favouring at the moment.
Cowthorpe wants a free kick. Good umpiring. And now Kingsley. And Kingsley's kick to the goals. And Treadray at the back of Martin. And it'll be a boundary throw. Not a bad result for Port in a way.
Just looks a bit out of sorts, doesn't he, Treadray? There he is on screen. Just hasn't been able to get into this game at all. And you would think if Port Power are going to win, he really needs to take hold of this game.
Primus. And also McKernan. Schofield. Can he get away? Pickett's held on him for a while, but probably the right decision. And then a poor handball by Lockwood. Back to King. King's kick into the centre. Bouncing ball. Bishop attacked it hard. It ricochets away. Stevens, good take. Lovely tackle, though, by Cowthorpe. Good umpiring to give Stevens a benefit there. The ball into the centre. Franco working it in front. He runs into a brick wall called Glenn Archer. Archer holds him up, ball up. Good stuff.
Glenn Archer probably could have got a free kick there, because the old elbow came in. Nothing untoward, but it just maybe collected him on the in the neck, on the chin, and I think that's why Glenn Archer's a little bit fired up at the moment, because he probably should have got a free kick.
Centre wing, 15 points the margin here. Late into the third quarter. Primus and Kernan couldn't get close to it there. Colbert over the top. Guerra with him and a ball up.
I know you think, Plugger, but one of the worst rules changes I've ever seen in this game is they're taking the kicking in danger out. And we saw there 2 indiscriminate kicks. I just think if a player's going and he's got his hands on the ball, you've got to give him the opportunity to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, I have to agree there, Rizzy.
Primus just wins it to Schofield. Little kick not going far. Franco working really hard. Back to Francis. Running into him was Burgoyne. Mead over the top, and then it's a bit of the old stacks on the mill, we used to call it, and we're in a ball up. Grant coming off. Motlop ready. Shannon Grant's had he's had a miserable day, hasn't he?
He's had 2-1, Shannon Grant, so certainly a day that we will not like to remember.
Makepeace comes on for him, and Motlop getting ready. Primus. Calthorpe caught up. Simpson. There's a lot of heavy traffic today, and Port have matched the Kangaroos in this area. They'd have to be happy with their efforts in close.
Well, really the only difference in the game is that kick out and the kick from Mead. I mean, that's basically the difference in the game at the moment, those 2 mistakes.
Mead over the back, building forward. And the umpire's found a free kick to the Kangaroos there for holding on. And that wasn't the umpire in question, that was the umpire that was off the ball.
You wonder where they find them sometimes, don't you?
Where they find the umpires or the free kicks?
Calthorpe to the pocket. Bassett working back towards it, and a boundary throw in. That was pretty cruel, Rusen.
I want to say this. When I was in America last year, I umpired some games in the United States Australian Football League, and it did give me a different appreciation of how difficult it is to be an umpire. I thought I knew the game pretty well.
Rusey, but stop trying to get out of it, mate.
But it is very difficult. It's a very, very difficult task.
What, harder than playing, do you think, Paul?
Much harder.
There's Abraham wanting a free kick, and he's got one. It's going to come back. So a bit high on Abraham.
Just these little mistakes again, Bruce. You know, the free kicks, the turnovers, and you can't question Port Power's endeavour or anything like that. But just these are the things that determine games, particularly the closer games and the low-scoring games. And just a nasty, just ugly little. The free kicks, Kangaroos, 19-9. So that's a huge discrepancy.
That was almost a we was robbed statistic, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I reckon our viewers back in Adelaide have been saying, yeah, come on, boys, get onto this. I hadn't noticed the big difference, but I reckon they've had a couple of lucky free kicks, the Kangas, and that one the Bishop marked earlier was one that I'll remember. Anyway, Abraham to have a shot. He's good enough, isn't he?
Oh, he's a lovely kick, this fella.
45 metres out.
As soon as you give him a rap, Bruce, see?
It's a lovely kick out of bounds on the full, mate. I haven't seen a nicer kick than that, though, out of bounds on the full, Plugger.
He's
spun beautifully.
Plugger, he's winding you up, mate.
I'm still in amazement at his comment before about how hard it is to umpire a game of footy.
So the power out, McKernan, he's had a quiet one. Stevens, good contest. Primus's little kick. McCartney back to King, who's been a good player. Little handball inside to Simpson to fall forward. Carey shielding his eyes and then involved in a good contest. Back to Bassett. Gets it wide to Montgomery. Bill to put some pressure on. Montgomery probably wants the line and he gets it. Well, to Port's credit here, the Kangaroos have threatened to blow it away and they haven't been able to do it, have they?
Look, they have withstood it. They're only 15 points behind, so they're still very much in the contest. The breeze seems to be blowing the Kangaroos' way at the moment. So if they can stay close, maybe pinch a goal, is certainly very, very much in this game, and a big chance going into the last quarter. Blood rule here on Carr, I think, so he's coming from the ground.
You've only got a couple of minutes to go, and it's only a 15-point margin. So we've seen lately 2 or 3 goals. They can kick that in a matter of minutes. So Port Adelaide were good enough to get another goal before the 3-quarter time break. They are certainly right in it going into the last quarter.
And they've got some good players too. If you go down their list, Primus has been terrific. Brett Montgomery, I think this is the best game he's played for Port Power. He's had 19 possessions and 10 marks. Some of their young fellas have been very impressed with Bassett. So they've certainly got some players that are in pretty good form.
Kangaroos in attack, about 50 metres from goal. McKernan lays it down. Colbert's had a quiet day. It's been a pretty tough day 4 forwards and a ball up.
It has been a hard day for forwards, and Carey's obviously stood out, but no other forwards really been able to take this game by the scruff of the neck because of the swirling breeze.
Bishop in there, taken by Franco's, had a good game. To Burgoyne, takes them on Burgoyne, decided not to go to Primus and go long to centre half forward. Treadray worked under it, not really contesting to confidently at the moment, is he? Pick it over Rennet, you don't see that too often. Rawlings' handball just found its mark. Can King take them on and do something a bit special? Corns gets back to make the contest, and he has to get it out of there in a hurry. Well, that's interesting. King's grabbed him by the legs, hooked him up, and gets a free kick for holding the ball. Colbert's kick wide to Carey, and he finds him.
I don't find that
I cannot believe that decision.
I just find that hard when a young kid, Corns, really makes a fantastic... Watch him here. What a fantastic effort to bring... I mean, he's trying to get up off the ground.
Have a look at the tackle by King, though. He's got his legs.
Tackles around the legs. I don't know about that. That's just...
It's not a free kick.
It's a tough rule.
Well, Carey's kick 5. I reckon he's going to get 3 Brownlow votes again today. He might win his Brownlow this year. These...
Just missed it, I think, Bruce.
Well, all it deserved, maybe the Port fans would be saying right now.
Yeah, well, there's certainly... We talked about the free kicks before, so that's probably free kick number 20, and the Adelaide fans back in Adelaide would be fuming with that one. From back, so it's maybe a handy point. Sounds silly, but it's 2 straight kicks. But it would certainly need to be a goal if Port would have any chance of winning.
King. Long kick, safety first, wanting a big mark. And McKernan had a couple of cracks. Back to Bassett, gets it inside. Blakey, good, courageous mark.
Just eyes solely for the football. They're going back with the fly of the ball. Well done, Johnny Blakey.
Pike, 3 bounces and a 4th. And comes back inside a bit. No, decides not to. 5 bounces in the end. Floating kick to Carey. Didn't mark it. Paxman back there, has to get it out. Harvey, who's quick, and so's Grant. They've got a chance here. Harvey working in front, Lowell with him. Harvey runs into Archer, gets it back to McKernan to Archer. Surely he'll kick a goal, and he does. That is the ball game.
Yes, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. That is the ball game. And well done by Glenn Archer. He's had a bit of a dirty day, but he picked his game up in the third quarter. It's his 2nd goal, running from down back. And as I said with Peter Bell, the champion players will even contribute when they're having a bad day, as with Bell and with Archer as well. Just gets in the way here, keeps on running though. Well done, Glenn Archer. And he's been able to do what other players haven't in this last quarter, and that's to kick a goal.